There is a very specific, draining exhaustion that sets in after years of trying to manage the emotional climate of a long-term marriage. For decades, we have been handed a set of rules about what a partner is supposed to provide. The first demand is the soulmate, a perfect mirror. The expectation is that if you love intellectual growth, he must love reading. If you want to move fast, he must match that pace. The second demand is the shelter. We are taught to look for someone to act as a permanent shield against the world, a roof built to keep the rain off our heads and protect us from life's turbulence. The profound betrayal we feel arises when the storms we fear originate from the person who was supposed to be the roof. Demanding a partner perfectly synchronize with every rhythm and serve as an ultimate protector is an act of childish narcissism, a trap that leads to certain misery. This failure of expectations creates a specific behavioral loop. Because we expect the relationship to provide our emotional safety, our attention turns entirely outward, constantly scanning our partner's actions for proof that we are valued. Why a delayed text message, a forgotten anniversary, or an unshared hobby can trigger an outsized emotional panic. We are constantly taking the temperature of the room to see if we are still secure. Without even realizing it, we transform ourselves into beggars standing at the front door of our own marriages. We hold out a broken bowl, constantly asking for attention, validation, and love. The explosive anger following a missed text reveals the acute pain of spiritual starvation. Relying entirely on another human being's unpredictable behavior to secure your own internal peace is a structurally flawed strategy. It ensures that you will always remain hungry. To step out of this current, we have to rethink what marital friction actually is. Ancient philosopher Yangming argues that marital discomfort is the intended curriculum. In this philosophy, marriage operates as a dojo. It is a highly specific training ground meant to forge your mind and test your emotional resilience, rather than a comfortable greenhouse that coddles you. If your partner were perfectly synchronized with you, nodding at everything you say and applauding every move, you would simply be resting in your comfort zone. Genuine growth happens precisely when you face a partner whose behavior feels totally unreasonable. True partnership operates on the logic of harmony and diversity. You can be the red fox and allow your partner to be a sparrow. You exist in the same space, going about your own distinct lives, without any need to assimilate or control one another. Friction is life's intentional design. The very things that frustrate you about your partner are the exact exam questions you need to pass to build your own spiritual endurance. Let's look at what happens mechanically inside the mind, the exact moment a partner triggers you. When your partner forgets an anniversary or seems distant, that specific external action is not the actual weapon causing your pain. This illustrates how a trigger operates. The external event merely flashes a harsh light onto a massive, jagged emotional void already sitting there. Attempting to mold another person's behavior to plug this internal emptiness is mathematically impossible, failing every time. Marital pain is simply an engine warning light flashing on your dashboard. It is alerting you that you are trying to outsource the heavy lifting of your own emotional wholeness to somebody else. The only way to turn off that warning light is to change your orientation. The antidote is a philosophical concept known as inner sufficiency. Inner sufficiency is the realization that your nature is already complete. To practice it, you have to deliberately retract your emotional tentacles, pulling your energy away from monitoring your partner and bringing it back to your own center. If the dojo is for forging your mind, you need to protect that work by establishing a clear emotional boundary. This boundary acts as a protective shield, separating your internal progress from your partner's external volatility. Within this boundary, his moods and reactions remain his own business. By claiming sole jurisdiction over your joy, you finally stop the exhausting cycle of trying to manage his emotions to save your own. Releasing the demand that your partner carry the weight of your emotional life stops the need to control them. Dropping that control is what actually creates the space for genuine love to exist. You transition from being a mirror that only reflects what it receives into a self-luminous body. You become an independent generator, radiating a steady emotional light that is unaffected by the geometry of your surroundings. When you no longer need a partner's attention to prove your absolute value, you are free to see them clearly, accepting them as a flawed, separate human being. The relationship becomes a choice, a beautiful addition to your journey, rather than a desperate survival tool you cling to just to stay afloat. You reach a point of absolute emotional autonomy. You can look at your partner and know with complete certainty. Having you here is wonderful, but even